Welcome to the Peet Reet Show, and we are live from Queen Street in Niagara Falls at the opening of the Niagara Integrated Film Festival.
Here for how to build a time machine.
Yeah, and Cheel is the man who put that movie together. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so born and raised in St. Catharines.
Yes, St. Catharines, 1979, born at the General Hospital. And I live...
Nothing abnormal? Everything was okay when you were born?
I think everything so far.
He's a director. It couldn't have been okay.
But I live in Thorold currently,
Yeah.
but commute to Toronto for work, so...
All right, now as a young guy, what did you do?
I made movies.
When you were young?
Like, video camera with friends on the weekend kind of thing.
Yeah,
How old were you?
goofing off.
I was probably 13,
Wow.
started doing that. Yeah.
Something you always wanted to do, like you felt
Yeah.
you wanted to do?
Yeah, I watched a lot of movies when I was a kid. Probably movies I shouldn't have been watching. At
Okay,
that
name a
age.
favorite movie then.
Well, the easy one is Jaws, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I love
is that the
Jaws.
one that sent you on the track, Jaws?
I think it was. Well, it was probably a filmmaker named John Carpenter
Oh,
who
yes.
did a film called The Thing, which I loved, and
Yeah.
I saw a lot of those movies when I was young, and that was the first filmmaker where I actually recognized that the same person was directing all of these films, because you saw the same actors, the same compositions, the same music. So it was like, okay, he's in charge of all of those. He's the director. That's what I want to do.
Did you ever want to be an actor?
No, I hate being on the camera.
Oh, you're not, there's no cameras here.
There's
okay,
none.
you're just talking
All
about
right.
it.
And everybody out there is naked.
Okay,
Apparently.
great.
So you're 13 years old, you're shooting videos, but did you think it was going to become something you were actually going to do for a living?
Not necessarily. I think it was. I was kind of drifting between filmmaking and animation, actually, because I drew a lot when I was a kid, but went towards the film side, and anyone who draws knows that if you stop, you completely lose it. So I stopped drawing, and I can't draw anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm in the same place. I was a
Yeah.
drawer and a painter, right? And
Yeah.
I imagine if I tried, but I know that I've tried to draw a straight line and I can't
And
do
you
it.
suck.
Yeah,
I'll sit down to try to do it, and I won't get past what should I draw, and then I give
Oh,
up. So.
yeah.
Now, were you one of these students, because I knew a lot of creative people that really couldn't pay attention to what was going on in school. They were either drawing or thinking about where they were going and what they were doing other than what was happening in that classroom.
Yeah, definitely. I had a math class, actually, and I specifically remember the teacher letting me leave because I was writing a script for a movie we were going to do for an assembly. So he just saw me not paying attention, and he said, you can go ahead and leave and work on it and then come back. So
Oh, smart guy.
yeah.
So now we decided we're going to get into film, but you got to go to school first, right?
Yeah, so I went to Niagara College, and the film program there is great. It starts off with radio, television, and film. Then you can specialize, and I went into film and did my third-year documentary project on time travel. So one of the people in my film, Rob Niosi, was in that film in 2005. So that was the first, I guess, the beginnings of how to build a time machine.
So you linked it all together.
Yeah, it was just, I liked the subject matter, but it was a student film, so I wanted to do something. I wanted to revisit it once I kind of accrued a few more skills, I guess.
H.G. Wells, not too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that was a fantastic movie. I remember
Yeah.
watching that, as a kid, and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a great film.
So now you go into film, but a lot of people don't realize it's a lot of waiting and getting things done and getting lighting right, and
Yeah.
so I mean you have to have a lot of patience, and then after that you got to go into editing, right?
Yeah.
And you love it all?
I wouldn't say I love it all. On this one, I did kind of multiple roles, like sound recording. I would be fine to not have to worry about
Ever do.
ever again. But I do like I like filming, like shooting
Yeah.
the films, and
Yeah.
I love editing, and especially for documentaries, because it's such an intimate process, getting to know the subject and keeping your crew small so they're not intimidated, and creating an environment that's, you know, allows them to open up a little bit. So
We're going to hold you right there, and we're going to come back on the Peet Reet Show with more interesting information from Jay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the movie that we're
Absolutely.
here for in just a minute.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Talking to Jay Cheel's here at the Seneca Theatre in Niagara Falls, and you know, we're excited being here, but you got to be really excited because it's the launch of one of your films tonight, correct?
yeah, I'm very excited. We actually premiered at Hot Docs in Toronto at the end of May, which was great. But having a screening in Niagara is obviously a great
Heartfelt.
thing. Yeah.
Could you sleep last night?
I could sleep last night. I've had a busy week, so I just zonked out. But definitely excited.
What do your parents think of you being a filmmaker?
I think they're proud. I hope
You know, because some parents would go, "Oh no,
they're
you
big
can't go to
movie.
school."
They're big
Oh,
movie people,
oh,
so they're
buffs.
the ones that kind of fed me the films that inspired me to do what I'm doing. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Now, are documentaries where you want to be?
I think the goal would be to kind of straddle documentaries and fiction and jump back and forth. I'm a big genre film fan, so you know, horror films, science fiction films. That's why with the docs I do, How to Build a Time Machine, I think is kind of science fiction infused, and my
Yeah.
other film, Beauty Day, is I consider to be a comedy first and a documentary second. So I like to pull that stuff into the docs.
Well, you got my attention right away because time travel. Time
Yeah.
travel is something I think everybody's been interested
Yeah,
in.
I
right?
think everybody's thought about that sometime in your life. Wouldn't it be cool to just all of a sudden be over there instead of
Yeah.
here? You know, I think it interests a huge audience.
Well, especially film fans, because it's a great storytelling device. So it is inherent with drama and conflict.
Now, doesn't one of the guys in the movie think he's actually going to build a real time machine, or is trying?
He's trying, yeah. He's a theoretical physicist, so he has a real time machine on paper, a theoretical time machine based on light,
Right.
which, you know, he's essentially at the point where he has to start the experiments with this, but it's not so much like he's going to step into a machine and disappear.
Pull the lever.
It's like sending information through time. So the first step would be sending ones and zeros 10 seconds into the past or whatever, and that would be the first step, and then you would hopefully lead towards something bigger.
Now, you have two parallel storylines in this. Two
Yeah.
guys, both with fathers that have passed away, correct?
Well, they're both gone now.
Yeah.
Ron's father, he's the physicist, his father passed away when Ron was 10 of a heart attack unexpectedly, and it kind of had obviously a big effect on Ron, and he was a science fiction fan, so when he read H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, it kind of, you know, it sparked this idea of this is how I can see my father again. I can, you know, pursue this path and try to build a time machine and either send a message back or go back and see him again. So that started his journey.
So Rob Niosi, who's a stop animation filmmaker,
Yeah.
is actually building it's over 13 years, a full-scale model. We hope it's a working model, right? But a full-scale model of H.G. Wells' Time Machine.
Right, from the 1960 film. So it's like the big Victorian time machine with the dish on the back.
And the lever that you have to pull.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like a sled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that he's building a full-scale replica, but he's doing it out of materials like brass and marble and mahogany.
Oh, wow.
And so normally these prop replicators will make things out of plastics or
Foam and
right
cheap.
Because they get thrown away, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he hopes that this will last. He said for 200 years. He wants it
Wow.
to kind of travel through time at
And it
a
will.
normal rate of time, I guess.
Now, Dr. Ron, who's a physicist,
Yeah.
is working heavily on time.
Yes.
And I mean, I watched some of your movie
Yeah.
tonight. Got a chance to slip in there before we had to slip out here.
Yeah.
And he's got the schematics and diagrams, and this guy, he's serious about this, right?
Yeah, he's definitely serious about it. That's his kind of career. You know, he was a professor at the University of Connecticut, but on the side he was pursuing this dream of trying to figure out how to travel through time. So he's 100% serious.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Really, really
Yeah.
interesting topic. Love it.
So is it going to happen? Is he going to do it, do you think?
I don't know if he'll do it in his lifetime. That's the one thing with this movie is I'm interested in the characters' stories and their personal stories and how they kind of overlap and where they don't overlap. The science side of it,
It would baffle me. It would baffle me. There's no way.
I think I can grasp the idea of going to the future more than I can going to the past because it's kind of been proven. So that I can wrap my head around, but going to the past seems kind of tough. Yeah.
Jay, thank you so much for stopping by.
you very
Yeah,
much.
Pleasure
and
talking.
much,
Thank you.
much success with your
Thank
career.
you very much. Thanks for having me.
Jay Cheel's on the Peet Reet Show, and more coming from the Niagara Integrated Film Festival with Peet Reet in just a moment. Thanks for joining us on the Peet Reet Show, opening night of the Niagara Integrated Film Festival. You know what I love? I love being at the Seneca Theater because you can smell that popcorn.
Popcorn is killing me.
Yeah.
I just want to eat bags of it.
And you know what else is killing me?
What?
This next guy we're bringing up. He's killing me. No, because
Well, he's always trouble,
he's
that's
trouble,
why.
But he's so good looking, and he's the director of the festival, Rob Lalonde.
You're going from popcorn to me. You're really trying to butter. You're really trying to butter
We
me
are.
up, aren't you?
Absolutely, we are. We want free popcorn. You're in charge, aren't you?
Okay.
So look, you know, you step into command. It's the third year, right? A few months ago, and next thing you know, we go from a 3-day festival to an extended
9.
So we're 2 weekends.
You know, and that's me. Go big.
Go home.
Go home.
Get out of here.
Gotta see you later. Absolutely. You know what? And that's what I thought the festival needed. It needed a bit more traction, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. And then if you know me, and you guys happen to know me, that's how I kind of like to do
We never
things.
admit it, but yes.
Not in
We
public.
run the other way when we see
I
you.
hope there's no cameras rolling.
Not here, no. So integrated. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, I've always said I won't work anywhere unless there's alcohol. So I took on this project, and the thing is, we're not one of the reasons we chose the Seneca is that it is licensed. You can have a nice glass of wine from the region of Niagara Falls.
Beautiful.
And the Niagara Escarpment. And of course, we're doing an event at Trius Winery.
Yeah.
And we're also doing some stuff at the Old Stone Inn in St. Catharines and at the Performance Arts Center. What do they all have in common? You can drink wine at the mall. That's what they have in common.
There's a theme going
There's
on
a
here.
theme.
The integration.
That
There
is
you
the
go.
integration, and that's what we did. So when we came up with the concept 3 years ago, it was to integrate the wine culture in Niagara with film. Because, you know, there's a lot of film festivals, of course, everywhere in the world, but there are very few that have this integration process because really, where else can you do it? And the only one that I know of like this is in Napa Valley. It's the Napa
course.
Valley Film Festival.
Right.
What a great area. Great venues you've got, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is class to me. This brings it back old school. The theater here is magnificent. It just brings me back to those, really fantastic movies way back when, the 1950s movies.
And really, I appreciate that because that's exactly these types of film houses, and when you come into the Seneca, there is that whole look about, that brings Hollywood.
Yeah.
Exactly, right to you.
There's nothing wrong with the new cinema or film houses, but
But it's very...
but they're not Hollywood.
They're not nostalgic.
No.
Hollywood
Yeah.
is nostalgic.
This Art Deco. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
They're cookie cutter. The new ones are all, it's all the same everywhere you go. You don't know what, if you're in one theater or the next, they look identical once you walk in the door. This has character. It says Hollywood.
And the walls breathe popcorn here. You can smell it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Orville Rodenbacher, and we'll be back in power. Here's the thing about it is that the Ritchie boys have done a fantastic job here also when you think about it. Because this is not an easy project. They've taken a very old building, renovated it, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for events like this.
Exactly.
Niagara Rise, which is a part of the festival.
Well, this is what's going on right now tonight. Matter of fact, it's part of the program. So it's called the Niagara Rises program. And that is where we can bring forward and expose, not the way you think, expose.
You read my mind.
But we get to bring them forward and help cultivate the film industry a little bit here in the Niagara region. And so by having that happen, it's really quite nice. So tonight, of course, as you met Cheel and April Mullen coming up. And when I was told about this Niagara Rises program, I was thinking to myself, that's going to be a short program. Because I'm thinking, how many feature films are there directed, produced by Niagara region personnel?
And I'm going to hold you there, and you're going to tell us how many there are when we come back on the Peet Reet show.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To
not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Peet Reet back with Rob Lalonde, and we were talking about Niagara Rises and how many films have we got involved?
I'm going to say about a half dozen. And you know what? The weird part about it was we got a lot of submissions that were absolutely fantastic. And this is a great platform, like I say, to showcase a lot of this amazing talent in this very small neck of the woods. It's really incredible. So we had some of the best films this weekend right here at the Seneca Queen with Niagara filmmakers. And then we have an extension of that called Niagara Rises Shorts Program. And that's films just with people wearing shorts. No, it's not actually. It's a
comedian. It's comedy here tonight.
It's 3, 2, 1. I know we're with it. And yeah, so it's great. And we're gonna have we have a bunch of short films that we're going to be showcasing this weekend also here. And it's a great program. Yeah.
Now there's got to be a high energy film from Niagara 2 related to Niagara with Red Bull being involved, right?
Chasing Niagara, what a fabulous, fabulous film. So, you know what, and Red Bull has a couple of bucks. They, I think there's a few of them.
Put some money into it?
They put some money into this thing, it's amazing. This is their first feature film, and it basically follows a young gentleman for a 3-year process on his challenge to take the falls with a kayak.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to give away the ending. I'm not going to tell you how it ends.
It's not like the ending of the guy who went over a few years ago, is it?
I'm not giving away the ending? Anyway, we'll be back in a minute.
I haven't said anything about the ending, but I do know about the guy.
So yeah, that's really exciting. And of course it has the big Niagara theme. And it's neat if you're from the area, because then you get to see a film, you know all the locations. You know, I've been there.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I see that. I watch that when I'm watching the Niagara films here. It's like, oh, that's that, and that's that.
Isn't that cool?
It is cool.
Yeah,
It
awesome.
is really cool.
So now tell us a little bit about the founders.
Well, we have Bill Marshall and Sarah Rudy. Sarah Ruda is, she's done a number of festivals in the past. She's known for that particular thing, but in different genres than film. And Bill Marshall, of course, is the guy.
Founder.
He's the man. He,
Started it all.
TIFF, 40 years ago.
I can't believe it's 40 years.
40 years,
Yeah.
to almost to the day. As a matter of fact, it'll be 41, I think, this year, coming up, yeah. So 41 years ago, sitting there in a cafe in Toronto saying, I've got an idea. and not far off from even this idea, how zany and corny it sounded at the time. You know, if you were going,
Yeah, come on.
that's going to work.
Walking away.
Yeah, okay. Listen, you pay for your drink. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the washroom. So yeah, so now, and you know, oddly enough, the same sort of issues still present themselves 41 years later, even though, you know, with the legacy that he has, people are going, you know, we're going to do this Niagara Integrated Film Festival, and he's confronted with exactly the same issues in this. People are going, well, I don't think it's going to work. Well, here we are in our 3rd season, and the 4th edition we're going to be working on starting in about 8 days.
Wow.
And it's building, like every year,
Yeah.
it's building.
Yeah.
And I see a big jump. There's a big jump this year.
Yeah.
I think 5 years from now it'll be a year-long festival. No, I'm just kidding. But
Let's hope not.
Stars every day?
We'd have to talk to Rob every day.
Oh, well, okay.
That's the most you've laughed so far. Pete.
You're right. So what do we got coming up this week?
We got a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of it happening right here at the Seneca Queen. We're really excited. Tonight over at the Cairns and Hall and at the Film House at the Performance Arts Center in St. Catharines, we have 4 other movies being played there tonight. I won't go through all the titles because I don't want to yawn the viewers
Show
here
off
a
how
little
good
bit.
your memory is.
Yeah.
We have no cue
He's
cards.
afraid.
But this week alone, this weekend alone, over the next 3 days, we have 21 films being screened across the region.
Wow.
Next week, we have another dynamic week, and in there we have some fantastic product. We have Genius, starring Jude Law, Nicole Kidman, Colin Firth. Fantastic, fabulous movie. We have, of course, All Roads Lead to Rome, where we're bringing in the beautiful Claudia Cardinale.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty good.
Sarah Jessica was in that movie.
Sarah
as
Jessica
well.
Parker, yeah. Look
Yeah.
at this, wow. Look at Cisco and anyway, so yeah, it's Cisco.
I'm not even commenting on that, okay?
So we got all that going on, and then we of course we have the Finding Nemo's sequel, Finding Dory.
Dory, yeah.
Coming out next Friday, so that's fantastic. Yeah, we got a really strong lineup next week.
So you know what? You guys have done an outstanding job, really, and we can't wait to enjoy this week with the.
I appreciate that.
And many more years to come.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very
And we'll be back with April Mullen and find out what her story is. Niagara Falls person who's made it big. Peet and Reet on location at the Seneca Queen Theater on Queen Street in Niagara Falls, and it's opening night, the Niagara Integrated Film Festival. We're having a blast.
We are. Far Hope Tower. I mean, incredible. The cast was just out here. I mean, they were so pumped for
Yep.
this.
Oh.
So pumped.
And you know what? It was like a crazy zoo party in here. So now we've got the feature film director on fire, so they say.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they say. Can you see the flames?
You combust,
feel them.
If you combust, we'll put you out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're a Niagara Falls girl,
I am.
and you went to school here.
Yes.
And then when did we decide we were going to become an actress, a director, producer? And,
I
and you write
decided
too, right?
a lot of it while I was still in elementary school at Saint Antoine de Padoue, a French elementary school. So I decided very early on. I found it really refreshing. There was an improv class in like grade 6 or grade 4.
Oh, wow. That's
grade
pretty
4,
progressive.
young. And I remember thinking, I was very quiet in school and didn't say much, but then when I was on stage and it was improv, everything was allowed and I somehow came to life and I felt a lot of freedom on stage. So that's where this sort of taste for freedom / acting became very prevalent in my life.
And you went to Ryerson.
He did, yeah.
How was that?
I went to Ryerson. It was great, a really intense theater school training. So everything from Shakespeare to Chekhov to like breath work and movement and clown and mime. It was across the board. I got a really strong handle on, classical training and method, everything. It was great.
And then we understand that you were really good there, got really good marks and maybe some awards too, right?
Did Sometimes I pick up some awards along the way.
I just don't remember.
I think so. Oh, wait a minute. You were Miss Teen Niagara, we heard.
That was so fun. Really unexpected. I cried when I got the crown, which I didn't ever think that. I always watched on TV and thought, why would they cry? Wouldn't they smile? And then I cried. It's out of surprise.
Did you keep the crown? Did you?
It's so big. It's amazing. It's so shiny.
So pageants like that,
Yes.
are they good?
I have no idea. They might build a lot of self-confidence, and there's a great camaraderie and friendship. And to be honest, Miss Teen for me was basically every weekend I had community events. Like I did Run for the Cure, like Stare for Cancer. I was at the Alzheimer's. I was a Boys and Girls Club. Like it was a very community-driven title, which I thought was, really helped me to become, very aware of what was happening in the city, the youth of the city, and how to help them, and what was happening in the city, and where to sort of bring more people and more awareness to. It was a phenomenal time, the 2 years of my life.
So now you had to do a talent piece, right? What'd you do?
I did a lip sync, and I was half Phantom and half Christine, and I switched between both. I was both male and female.
Parts?
I did.
Awesome.
It was really fun.
So you got into film.
Yes.
And where do we start? Where do we go? How did you
how did that, I mean, you went to school for it, but how did you actually get into the first film?
It was an interesting evolution. I went over to Wales in the United Kingdom, and I started to do a lot more acting for film. And we got to do behind the scenes and direct a lot. Even in high school, there was a bit of that with our film class, and I really loved it. But it wasn't until I was like acting full time during my university years where I got booked on things. Instead of going back to my trailer like all the other actors are going to get food I was like glued to the monitor. I was like watching the director like a hawk. I never left set. I loved being on set, every aspect of it, whether it was like editing, lighting, grip, whatever, production design. I'd be like, oh, that curtain was a little bit more to the right. Oh, I wish that actor just opened their chin a little bit. I noticed that I had these like massive impulses, and I was just like quietly observing. I like learned everything, over the span of 15 years of being on set. It was so fortunate to have that experience because I was like a sponge, and I loved it all so much that I just sucked it all up. And then,
Did you have any producers or directors that you really gravitated to?
No, but I would say human behavior in general inspires me, and so do original ideas. So I feel like that's why Tim and I, my producing partner, we created Wango Films to start doing that, and that's what really gave us the kick to create our own production company and our own voice. And we were debating of what we would do, and then we were like, let's make a feature film. And everybody said, well, why aren't you making a short first? And we thought, we can't really sell a short, and what do you do with a short? We've got to make a feature. So then we just went on to rock, paper, scissors, the way of the tosser.
Right.
So you get in a place where you're not comfortable, and it makes you learn more and work harder at it, right?
100%. I have to tell you the truth. I've always been uncomfortable because I'm always aiming for something much bigger or the unknown. And I feel like although that's an uncomfortable place to be, it's a crucial place to be because I'm constantly growing. Like tonight I'm wearing leather pants. It's my first time.
On our show?
Everything, you have to try new things at all times. Why do a short when you can do a feature? If you're afraid of, my last film had a lot of sexual content and intimacy. I was like, I've never done that before. It's a drama. Let's do it. And then, guns and squibs. I've never done that before. Let's do it. Sci-fi. I'm up for it. Anything.
Well, we're going to find out what else you haven't done and what you want to do coming up on the Peet Reet Show.
I didn't see you come in.
Yeah, most people don't.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm depression, and I've come for you.
I'm not depressed.
Oh, you're not? What about schizophrenia?
No.
Anxiety disorders?
Uh-uh.
Eating or mood disorders?
No and no.
Oh, my mistake. It's next Tuesday that you lose your job and your boyfriend leaves you.
Thanks for staying with us on the Peet Reet Show, and April Mullen. I'll tell you something, we are so impressed with you, and we looked through your career, short career that it is, right? Director, producer, actress. Now you did some writing as well, right? And this movie that we're here to see tonight, did you write any of that?
No, just directed, produced, and act.
Oh, only?
Oh.
And it was our production company.
Show off.
But I didn't write a stitch. I'm afraid of scary movies, and it's scary.
So now, We were just with Dee Wallace, who was in
Yes.
E.T. and Cujo and did a bunch of, she was the scream queen of the 80s. Do you remember her?
Yes.
And we were talking to her and we said, do you like horror movies? And she goes, no.
I hate them.
Yeah, I can't watch them.
She can't watch them, but she screams amazing.
Bless her. Yeah.
I know.
That's what happens when you've got a good screaming lung.
But you've done so much. You actually did a film with an all-female cast.
I did.
That must
Female
have been
crew, top to bottom, like boom op, everybody.
Everybody.
It was amazing. It was really, whole camera crew, full female. It was amazing. Great
And
experience.
How about 3D? Were you the first to do something in 3D as well?
I was the first female to direct a stereoscopic 3D feature film.
youngest too.
And youngest.
Wow.
Youngest
Good for
person.
you. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Dead Before Dawn,
Yeah,
right?
Dead Before
3D.
Dawn.
Now, 3D, what's the difference? When you're directing 3D,
Yes.
I mean, what's different?
Do you want me to get
actually-
nerd out on you? Okay.
Oh, yeah, nerd out on us. We
So,
like that.
There's two cameras at all times. One sitting vertical, one sitting horizontal. This is stereoscopic. That's what creates the 3D. This moves, and that creates the depth of field. So we shot on a quasar rig, which held the cameras like that, and it was the first of its kind because it was so unique. The technology was so unique that we didn't know we were shooting in Chippewa with Christopher Lloyd at 103. It was so hot that the lower camera would overheat the upper camera because it was a brand new technology. So what we had to do was put ice packs on the camera and massage it with like 2 hoses of air conditioning the entire shoot. That's how new 3D was when I was shooting it. It was phenomenal. Like the quasar rig literally weighs 150 pounds. So everything's on steady cam at the time, and it was too heavy to move around. Now things are a lot easier. You actually have smaller cameras, smaller rigs that you can like, put on your head. There's GoPro, everything. It's phenomenal now. But at the time, it was an unbelievable feat for our crew that we were able to accomplish what we did
And
in
you won
20
an
days.
award.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a huge international award,
Yes.
which was,
Good for you.
fantastic to bring home to Canada.
Now, Niagara is a great place to shoot, isn't it?
I
And you
see
have
you've
secret
noticed my
locations.
obsession. Number 1, I get to be close to family. Number 2, there are phenomenal, unique, really dark and interesting locations. And you can find everything from like natural to, seedy hotel rooms to really cool restaurants. Like, there's everything across the board.
That's
And
what we want to be known for, the
nondescript.
seedy hotel
Like
rooms.
it has such depth. Niagara Falls has such depth
It
to
does.
it.
I
And
agree.
I every time I shoot here, it's a totally different genre, totally different film. But I can literally find what I'm looking for in this city
Now,
and the surrounding areas.
Screaming Tunnels?
great.
Has that ever been in your movie?
I've never been.
You've never been to Screaming
I'm
Tunnels?
too afraid.
Really?
I'm a wuss.
Screaming Tunnels, if
You
you
heard
didn't
it
know,
here.
Maybe if I
is
had
one
a
of the
cute
scariest
boyfriend,
places
I would
in
go
Niagara.
with them.
Oh,
I'm
and then
too
just
scared
hold
to go
on
by
to 'em.
myself. Yeah, like, ugh.
So, Farhope
Yes.
Tower,
Yes.
the name is totally different. How'd you come up with the
It
name?
was called Skyscraper in the beginning, but Farhope Tower is the building that's the building in the film. So that's what the building is called. And the building slowly takes over each and one of our paranormal, investigators' minds, and things go very dark. But that's what the building's called. That's why it's called Farhope Tower.
And they really were going in there to
We
do
did.
a reality TV show?
Yes,
Is that
it was
premises?
innocent, and it was supposed to go really well. And they were, shooting for a pilot. And we shot a lot of this in Europa, and then the old City Hall in Niagara Falls, and then we went over to Buffalo to the Empire Building for the big, the big tower stuff.
Yeah, so that was the tower.
Unbelievable. Yeah, all shot like true location, on location, in 12 days.
That's
Yeah,
incredible
we heard
feat
that
in
from
itself.
your crew. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
it's nuts.
We had a phenomenal crew, top to bottom.
Now,
Young.
you work between, or live actually, between LA and Toronto and Niagara Falls, of
Yes,
course.
yes.
It's so important. Yeah. What's the difference living in LA and Toronto and here? Especially when you're in the business you're in.
That's a good question. I find everywhere I go to be quite inspiring. So wherever I am, whatever happens, the people are always so different in every different way. And I mean, there's palm trees and it's really warm in Los Angeles. That's an
In the
easy
winter.
one.
Yeah,
That makes it like I want to fly south.
Yes, for sure. For
It
sure.
calls me in the wintertime. But Canada has such a grounded and genuine tone to it. In general, when I come home, I feel at ease, and especially Niagara too. I was just sitting under the trees the other day in a park, and I just love watching them sort of flow. And I feel like that's Canada to me. Is like sort of somewhere under a big tree, relaxing, looking at the sky.
Well, we're so inspired by you. We really,
Thanks.
truly are. And best of luck for the future.
Thanks for having me.
And hey, for the movie, hope it does very well for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Absolutely.
for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks.
And we'll wrap up on the Peet and Reet Show from the Seneca Queen in Niagara Falls in just a minute.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
You know, usually I don't like to end a show and get out really quick. Do you know why?
Yeah, you want to go watch a movie. So
wanna,
do I.
We want to go watch the movie because
I love horror flicks. I'm a horror queen. It sounds really bad, but I am.
You're a what?
A horror queen.
A horror queen. That's what I thought you said. I just wasn't sure what I was hearing there. But you know, the movie sounds great. And I like that kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
My wife doesn't, but she's already in there watching, going to give me the lowdown and catch me up as I get back in there.
Great.
But, we talked to April
Mullen.
Amazing, down to earth.
Really
Great.
nice.
You know what? Young person that's thinking positive and saying, go for your dreams. Wherever you go, see what she
Make
said?
it happen.
Toronto wasn't bad, LA wasn't bad. I get great positive energy wherever I go. And I
Yes.
think that's a great lesson. She's got a great crew. You can see they're all energetic. The producers, the technical people.
Yeah.
And of course, the film festival opening tonight. We're going to be covering a lot of the things happening throughout the festival over the next week. And Robert Lalonde, who we talked to, is the director of the festival and manager.
And he's making it fun too.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to it. And we'll see you on the next segment of the Peet and Reet Show, where we cover more of the Niagara Integrated Film Festival. Yeah.